The burb. The burb is trying to tell you something. Oh, turn off your HEPA air filter. Turn off your air filter when you shoot, silly. Oh, thank you, burb. Picking fights with angry. It's Angry Burbs versus Pokemon. Round 1. Okay, Pika. I'm sorry. I like fresh air, and just that was insensitive of me to leave the HEPA air filter. I just got it. It's been so dusty in here. I'm like opening the windows and spring cleaning. Yes, but we're also taking a break. Hi, welcome to the Comics Coffee Table. We are having comic book shop style conversations daily, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. Turn on those notifications and subscribe if you haven't already. Please hit that like button if you like this kind of content. Hit the down button if you don't. I'm a big lad. I can handle that. But let me know what you think. You leave a comment. And also at 3 p.m. at the premiere, there's a heck of a live chat going on. Yes, the show itself is pre-recorded live before a studio audience of my stuffed animals. Jay, the Canadian Bear, Critical Drinker, and my executive producer, Pikachu, who makes me show notes. And yes, I'm reading the show notes. Okay, yes, the timer is set. And we're going to talk the Overstreet and dedication to my parents. That's right. We are reboarding, rebagging, and reboxing my entire collection. It's a great excuse to go through all of my funny books and touch every single one of them to rebag, reboard, and give them new boxes. And it's an intimate experience. It's tactile. We're using our senses, our feel of touch, of smell, of sight, and being a comic book fan. That's a lot to it. We have that's our angry bird friend. Thank you, Burb. Please don't shit on my window again. Please. The books, yeah. So while I'm handling every single individual issue in my long boxes, and I am gonna look some of them up and see how much they're worth. And I'm also getting my head around grading the 10-point standard grading scale for comics. Okay, I closed the window. Don't worry, I'll open the window shortly. But yeah, that's a one angry bird. Damn, I wonder what we did. I'm blaming you. You sit here all day long, you're probably staring right at that bird. He's staring at you. I don't want to misgender the bird. And, but yeah, these two books, there are links in the description if you want to get copies. So play along at home and value your own comics. And yeah, this has been so informative. This is a really good book. And I'm getting this next year and the year after. It's a valuable and part of my fandom, of this geekiness, of my hobby. This is a hobby of mine. I'm not ashamed to say it. Comic books are a hobby to me, and it's a love, and it's a place to put. It's a place of community as well. So sure, like the Angry Bird. Territoriality and our perception. Did the bird shit on my window? I will never know. I can only get angry and at my presumption and and think about it too much. I'm looking, wow, I gotta clean that. Darn. Oh, it's spring cleaning, clean everything. But yeah, we were going through this old notebook yesterday. I found it fascinating because it joins with these two books as well. I started getting the Overstreet comic book price guide last year, especially because a big part of the show would be talking about the ages of comic books and the different ages of comic books. Started last year's show, The Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 Days, where we would open up that book to today's date. We would look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. We would read the blurb, and then we would talk about comic books. And we would talk about comic books every day, all year long. And we haven't stopped. We've only gotten more toothsome, and we've gotten actually more connected. And if the 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern live chat premiere is awesome. If I can make it, I love being part of this conversation that we started, and that we continue this comic book shop style conversation. And I love getting to my local comic book shop. And if you're new to the show, there's always, you know what, we're going to be breaking our first 1,000 subscribers very shortly. I hope that's you. I hope you're part of it. If you're a new viewer, click on that subscribe button if you like this kind of content, and join our conversation. Leave a comment in the comment section. That's how we perpetuate this conversation, this comic book shop style conversations. I love my comic book shop. I want to keep them open for as long as I can. I'm getting my supplies from my comic book shop. Since I'm reboarding, rebagging, and reboxing my entire collection, I'm going to get my supplies at my LCS, my local comic book shop. Why? Well, I am agreeing to pay the retail markup. And because it's important for me to contribute to the overall health and success of my LCS, my local comic book shop, as a viable local mom and pop brick and mortar shop business in my community. That's important. And, that's any activism. That's my message. That's my platform. That's my, evangelist moment from Reverend Sully. Get thine ass to thy LCS and spend your fracking, qubits there. Gold qubits? That's about an old school Battlestar Galactica reference. And, but yeah, I'm moving from long boxes to short boxes. I'm getting my supplies. We were talking, speaking of Flash, see, this is Flash 111. Dude. Mark Waid, man, he's been writing comic books all this time. Where did the other one go? Oh, it must be over there. Oh, there it is. Oh, here we go. So we've got boards, we got bags, we've got boxes. Yeah. We've got plenty of comics. Wildcats number 31. This is Grifter She number 2. I got this in the dollar bin. Let's look at the Indicia colophon. This has a jam of so many different creators. Here we go. This is just a fun book. 1996. Alrighty. Pencils. Travis Charest. Pages 1 through 6. Billy Tucci, 17 through 26. Ryan Benjamin. Fucking yeah. This is like freaking Murderer's Row, huh? Look at those pencils. Man, yeah. Interesting. Posters. You want a poster? You want a wild? Who would I want? Maybe Voodoo. I wouldn't want a grifter. It was Jim Lee art though. The Chromium poster for $30. Gen 13 by J. Scott Campbell. Holy shit. Deathblow by Simon Bisley. There we go. He loves going to cons. I think he loves coming to Boston. I love seeing Simon Bisley. I've been to 3 cons in this is more than that, but the 3 comic book cons. I seen him at 2 Wizards and 1 Fan Expo. I get it now. All right. So the crisis that I was going to, okay, so from crisis to crisis to crisis to crisis. So we still had Crisis on Infinite Earths. Then you had Grant Morrison's second crisis, an Animal Man. And that's why I filed that Animal Man trade paperback in my Crisis long box. Because that, for me, that counts. I should just get those single issues. Those are... because I like single issues over trade paperbacks. I mean, I read all those Animal Mans in single issues. And then, that was 1990, Animal Man 24. Then comes 0 Hour Crisis in Time, 1994, which was a softish kind of reboot. It was like, it's like taking, I've used the analogy of a rug. And that was kind of like, shaking out the rug and flattening it out. You know what I mean? We still have this new rug, but we just had to clean it a bit. And then, time marches on, comes, so the crisis idea is kind of put to bed for a while. In the 90s, we go from 0 Hour Crisis in Time in 1994 to Identity Crisis 10 years later. Oops, sorry. That didn't mess with the audio. Identity Crisis comic book. I cannot spell today. DC. It's a novel by Brad Meltzer. Identity Crisis is a 7-issue... I'm reading this from the wiki! That's right. Identity Crisis is a 7-issue comic book limited series published by DC Comics from June to December 2004. So, I mean... yeah, I mean, I've been reading Identity Crisis in floppies. Those wonderful Michael Turner covers. One of DC's top-selling series, first issue released June 2004, was ranked first in comic book sales for that period with a pre-order sales of 163,111 issues. Let's see. The story also adheres to the continuity changes introduced by Crisis on Infinite Earths and 0 Hour Crisis in Time, as the heroine Wonder Woman was retconned out of the pre-crisis JLA. Yeah, and that's why Wonder Woman would not be aboard the satellite era. In that callback, indeed. In all further references to the JLA's pre-crisis adventures, including its origin story and the Secret Society incident, Wonder Woman is replaced by Black Canary. Also found in Wade and Kitson's JLA Year 1, which is pretty darn good. Following Infinite Crisis, however, Infinite Crisis was 2005. It was like next year, 2 years later, So following Infinite Crisis, however, Wonder Woman is restored as a founding member of the JLA. So until 2004, there the DC universe, the one world, existed from 85 to the 2004 for almost 30 years. No. 20 years. I'm old now. Everything's 20 years ago. No. That was 85, 2005, that's 20 years. That was 20 years ago. That's what you're trying to say, old man. Are you? One of the major plot threads in the breakdown of relationships within the Justice League of America is examined in the storyline Crisis of Conscience, JLA, numbers 1 through 15 through 119, August-December of 2005. The miniseries is followed by the crossover event Infinite Crisis, because in Identity Crisis, it's a huge retcon, and That means retroactive continuity, telling a new story set in the past, which kind of just things that up in the now. And like, so that's pretty much what, like, I was going here with like a Dark Age, because that's like, maybe, yeah, maybe no. Pika, I still can't read your writing. Oh, here, this is what I meant to say. Okay, and from here, from these pages, written on December 20th, 2004, in the wrap-up, version 1. Okay, but Identity Crisis retconned a very innocent age. It's as if you found out your parents were only human after all. It shook up the past continuity as the previous 2 crises did. It did. It really did. And it put the present into a new, interesting light, and it makes tomorrow all that more interesting with possibilities. Altogether, I believe 5 tie-in issues over 3 titles. Yeah, because there were, like, you know, I don't know. ID Crisis, 3 Flashes, a Firestorm, and one JLA. I'm trying to read Pika's handwriting. Please, bear with me. Khan, the computers are smashed. We need time. Time is a luxury you don't have, Admiral. It never felt like sales delivery. Oh, it never felt like sales. Okay, a relaunched Manhunter, a new take on an older character. It never felt like a sales-driven. It never felt like sales-driven fealty, is what I meant to say here. Sorry, it never felt like sales-driven fealty. That fealty meaning like, you know, the what you owe your landlord, or the lord of the land, or the king. Fealty is bending the knee and giving, you know, and station in life and caste. Yeah, this Identity Crisis was, you know, back in the day when subverting the expectation was that was new then. It was new once. It was about story and presence. It wasn't about sales-driven fealty. It was about story, and it was about presence. It was really a moody piece. And there were MacGuffins all about, which only leave the reader to guess where and when they will resolve. And in a Sully brand cone, show me the gain and loss. We are shown here. So, in a Sully brand cone, a koan is a Zen poem, a short Zen poem meant to evoke deep thoughts and contemplation, using a simple subject to be like, look at that, ponder that. Yes, in a Sully brand cone, show me the gain and loss. We are shown here, in an Identity Crisis, and which is a really interesting thing. So yeah, thanks for coming with me on this. Oh yeah, look at this, the smoking puck. Ugh. Yeah, I used to write a hockey blog. I love hockey. I got nothing to say about today's blog. I tried learning music once. You know. These are so. Oh yeah, 101 things that should not exist, and some spirituality stuff. Yeah, he said you can find some of that stuff, and there's a playlist called "Gratitude Lists in the Sunday Sermon," and I actually did a series on the Bhagavad Gita and its impact on me as a spiritually, which is also it's a war poem too, so it suits this superhero thing I got going on, and yeah, let's get to some funny books. But yeah, thanks for going down memory lane in an old composition style notebook written in biro. Blue biro is my favorite. I like. Give me a choice. I took a blue pen. I like blue ink over black ink. It's not a. Does that make me? Well, this is written in 2011 from the ongoing file of the Tao of Sully. Aww. I like spirituality. Hence Reverend Sully. True. I'm not making that up. I made it up myself. Yeah, we eventually have to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man. And Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Jeez, I got so many Buffy the Vampire Slayer issues. Oh, wow. Speaking of Mark Waid, he's everywhere in this. So let's look at this real quick. This is a random issue. Okay. Now, okay, talk about publishing, zero issues. You know I love zero issues. Annuals are fun publishing gimmicks. I gotta look this one up. We're gonna read from a wiki, aren't we? Marvel. .1 issues. What is a Marvel .1 issue? The fandom at marvel.fandom.com/wiki/category/1.1 issues. What is a .1 issue? Let's get a list of them. Issues that were part of the Marvel .1 initiative feature full-length, self-contained stories that serve as a jumping on point for new readers. More on marvel.com. What is it? Where does this lead? Marvel .1 begins in February of 2011. Dun dun. Dun dun. Why are we talking about this? Because this is a .1 issue. This is. You see that? What is it? What does that mean? Some interesting art in here too. It's Daredevil. I like those panels. I like that art. Is that Koi fan? Good stuff. Let's look at the NTC colophone. Yeah, that's quite fun. Nice. Ta-da. To the Indicia colophone. How does this list as? Yeah, that's Daredevil number 10.1, June of 2012. Marvels? The Omega effect. So this is supposed to fit in between issues 10 and issue 11. And so you can release this at any point. Let's see. Geared for new... This comes from Marvel.com on an archive. It says Marvel .1 begins in February of 2011. Geared for new and longtime readers alike, the all-new Marvel .1 initiative delivers the perfect jumping-on points for the biggest superhero series in the world. Beginning in February of 2011, select Marvel Comics series with a .1 after the issue number feature full-length, self-contained stories by Marvel's top creators, laying the groundwork for the next year of storylines. From Invincible Iron Man to Avengers to Amazing Spider-Man, each Marvel .1 issue of the associated series not only begins major new storylines, but also seamlessly introduces new readers into the dynamic Marvel Universe and its popular superheroes. Additionally, each issue bearing the Marvel .1 branding will be followed in the same month by another issue of that same series, delivering fans another exciting installment of the series they enjoy. Below is a full list of .1s we're going to get. Yeah. I would love to have written a .1 issue myself. Like, this is where we're going to get into fantasy. I'm going to fantasize for a second. I'm a comic book writer at Marvel. What would be my elevator pitch? I want to write Marvel. I want to write New X-Men number 154.1. And I don't know if this has been done. This is just I tuned out of Marvel for the entire Chuck Austin thing. You should be jealous. After Grant Morrison stopped writing New X-Men, I can smell it on the wind. You don't need to be a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. Bob Dylan said that. But issue 154.1 of New X-Men, and I can't even tell you who would draw it. Let's just say Travis Charest. It's Jean in the White Phoenix in the White Hot Room, and she fixes the universe like it was an old-fashioned turntable record, and the head of the record was skipping, and so use some kind of visual, turntable thing, music jive, it'd be cool that way. But it's about forgiving Magneto for basically, killing her. Because at the end of the New X-Men run, Magneto kills Jean. And he's got the Zorn mask on, too. And so, but that, forgiveness, and then, because right after Grant Morrison left New X-Men, there's this, it immediately got retconned that Zorn was not Magneto, but that was a shape-shifting, different mutant pretending to be Magneto. And even Grant Morrison says it himself, Magneto is a terrorist asshole. And I agree. And I think he's best written that way too. So this point one treatment is I would love to write that. And it's Jean, and she forgives Magneto. And so therefore she's the one that changed reality to reflect that. That was not Magneto. That Eric actually did all that stuff. Eric Leshner did everything he did. He chose that. He chose to take kick. He chose to, have one of the separate cuckoos as his thrall. It was very Christopher Lee, hammer bad guy. In hindsight, it's a 20-year-old X-Men story called New X-Men. Spoilers, sorry. Magneto was, not only was Magneto right, the posters, the propaganda, Magneto is right. And, but making Magneto separate of Zorn, was a huge thing I couldn't get over as a fan. I think just took a lot away from what Morrison had just laid down. So, coming back to the school and, heroic uniforms, that follows the cycle. Sure, the superhero stories, you're supposed to challenge your heroes. You're supposed to kind of almost break them, and then revert back to form. And also being some kind of corporate IP as well, you want to sell new versions of it. You never know which uniform is going to be the next cool-ass Wolverine uniform. It's like that with Batman. See, Batman has uniforms, outfits that signify distinct ages. So does Wolverine. Wolverine has the certain looks. There's the yellow and blue with the stripes. Then there's the brown suit. Then there's return to the yellow and blue with the stripes. And then come variants on that theme. And comic books. We've been talking about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So keep tuning in. Like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We're on the march to our first 1,000 subscribers. True that. So we got new viewers every day. So if you're tuning in for the first time, give a like. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't like it. I'm a big lad. I can handle that. And but let us know and continue this conversation in the comment section. This comic book shop style conversation. I love talking about comic books, and if you love talking about comic books as much as we do, you are in the right place at the right time. And it's good to see you all. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Bye-bye.